Hi there, Mark Jansen here. Welcome to the Shoulder Mobility Series. Shoulder mobility is important to your yoga practice as well as your general health. Many bad postural habits originate in your shoulders. The Shoulder Mobility Series will help you gain shoulder mobility and strength. Using some props for this series will be helpful. 2 yoga blocks are recommended. You could also use 2 rolled up towels. If you don't have props, I will give you some modifications so you can participate in the series. You will start the Shoulder Mobility Series with some sequences designed to warm up your shoulders. The purpose of these sequences is to move your shoulders to the extent of your range of motion. Make sure that the posture movement you choose allows you the greatest range of motion. You are not engaging in strength training here. You are trying to allow your shoulders to move as much as possible in your full range of motion. Bear in mind that your range of motion might not be the same as another person's range of motion. First and foremost, you do not want to injure yourself. Choose range of motion over a high load. There are multiple modifications, so please try them out to determine which allows you the greatest range of motion. Remember, you can always increase the difficulty or load after you experience your full range of motion. You will use a wall for one of these movements, so place the narrow end of your mat against a wall so you can use the wall for hand support. The first movement you will perform is a Scapula Lift. Please take a look at your options for Scapula Lift. The basic setup for Scapula Lift is to come onto your mat into a seated posture with your legs extended in front of you at hip width apart. Use 2 blocks or 2 rolled up towels and place the blocks or towels on either side of your hips in line with your shoulders. Place your hands on the block or towels. Draw your upper arm bones back, push down into your hands, and lift your hips off the mat. Align your shoulders over your wrists. Draw your upper arm bones back, look forward, take a deep inhale, moving only your shoulders. Exhale and lower using only your shoulders. Your arms stay straight. Draw your upper arm bones back. Inhale and push down into your hands, and using only your shoulders, come up as high as you can. Repeat. And repeat. Another version of Scapula Lift is available to you. Come into a kneeling position. If you need support under your knees, do so. If you need support under your hips, do so. Place your blocks or towels on either side of your hips, right under your shoulders. Place your hands on your blocks. Align your shoulders over your wrist. Draw your upper arm bones back, look forward, take a deep inhale, moving only your shoulders. Exhale and lower using only your shoulders. Your arms stay straight. Draw your upper arm bones back. Inhale and push down into your hands, and using only your shoulders, come up as high as you can. Repeat. Repeat. Okay, now you're going to try Scapula Lift. Decide which version is best for you and come into it. Seated, legs extended, or kneeling with support as needed. Align your shoulders over your wrist. Draw your upper arm bones back. Look forward. Take a deep, deep inhale. Moving only your shoulders, exhale and lower, using only your shoulders. Your arms stay straight. Inhale and push down into your hands, using only your shoulders. Come up as high as you can. Exhale, lower. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, lower. Take your hips down to your mat. Come into a seated posture. The next posture in the shoulder mobility series is called Scapula Push-Ups. You have several options for setting up Scapula Push-Ups. Option 1, come into a standard push-up position, making sure that your shoulders are aligned over your wrist. You are on your toes with your feet flexed. Keep your gaze forward towards the front of your mat. Option 2, you can use blocks under your hands in this position. Option 3, you can take your knees to your mat. To start, align your hips over your knees. To add more effort, walk your knees back. Option 4, if your wrists are sensitive, you can come onto your forearms. Keep your forearms shoulder width apart. Align your shoulders over your elbows. Keep your gaze forward between your wrists. Option 5, if you are on your forearms, you can also take your knees down to your mat. To start, align your hips over your knees. If later you want to add more effort, you can walk your knees back. Option 6, come to a wall, standing up, facing the wall. Place your hands shoulder width apart at the same height as your shoulders. Take your gaze between your hands. You could also use your forearms on the wall, with your elbows the same height as your shoulders. Remember, you are going for mobility. You want to experience the maximum amount of movement your shoulders are currently capable of without hurting yourself. From your Scapula Push-Up starting position, take a deep, deep inhale. On your exhale, lower down, using only your shoulders. On your inhale, push down into your hands and lift as high as you can, using only your shoulders. Exhale, lower. Inhale, raise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, raise. Exhale, release. Now you try it. Come into your Scapula push-up position. On your exhale, lower down using only your shoulders. On your inhale, push down into your hands and lift as high as you can using only your shoulders. Exhale, lower. Inhale, raise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, raise. Exhale, release. Remember, you are not trying for maximum effort. You are going for your maximum range of motion. Take a seat and watch the next posture called Scapula Press. You are going to come to all fours on your mat and come into a traditional headstand setup with your head and your arms. Place your forearms down on your mat, shoulder width apart. Interlace your fingers. Make sure your elbows are aligned under your shoulders. Place the crown of your head down on your mat with the back of your head in your hands. You have several options for your starting position. Option 1, align your knees below your hips. Option 2, lift your knees off your mat and walk your feet in towards your elbows. Option 3, stand up and go to a wall. Place your elbows at shoulder height. Interlace your fingers. Take the crown of your head to the wall and look straight down. Walking your feet back will add resistance. Walking your feet forward will decrease resistance. Once you have found your starting position, you can start Scapula Press. Exhale. Inhale, press down into your forearms and lift your head off your mat or wall using only your shoulders. Let your neck relax. Exhale, lower your head down to your mat or to the wall using only your shoulders. Keep your gaze straight back or down. Inhale, raise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, raise. Exhale, lower. Now you try it. Come to all fours or go to the wall. Place your forearms down on your mat or wall, shoulder width apart. Interlace your fingers. Make sure your elbows are aligned with your shoulders. Place the crown of your head on your mat or wall with the back of your head in your hands. Press down into your forearms and decide which starting position you want to take. You can choose to keep your knees on your mat. You can choose to lift your knees off your mat and walk your feet towards your elbows. Or use the wall. Get set up. Exhale all your air. Inhale, press down into your forearms. Lift your head off your mat using only your shoulders. Let your neck relax. Exhale, lower your head down to your mat using only your shoulders. Keep your gaze straight back or down. Inhale, raise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, raise. Exhale, lower. Now come down into a seated position and take a look at the shoulder opener called wall shoulder. In wall shoulder, you have several options for a starting position. Option 1, you can come to all fours. Place your hands on the wall, shoulder width apart, with your hands slightly higher than your shoulders. Keep your hips aligned above your knees. Option 2, if your knees are sensitive, you can try a standing starting position. Use the wall. Place your hands on the wall, shoulder width apart, with your hands slightly higher than your shoulders. Place your feet hip width apart, with your ankles aligned under your hips. Option 3, if your wrists are sensitive, you can use the standing starting position and place your forearms on the wall, with your forearms shoulder width apart. Place your elbows slightly higher than your shoulders. Once you have found the starting position which best suits you, start the stretch. Push into the wall with your hands or forearms. Let your chest and sternum area descend towards your mat. Let your neck relax. Now comes the part which creates a great deal of opening. Rotate your shoulders externally, just your shoulders, not your hands, not your arms. Your right shoulder will rotate clockwise. Your left shoulder will rotate counterclockwise. As you rotate your shoulders externally, let your chest and sternum descend. Keep pushing away from the wall. Allow the weight of your torso to open your shoulders. Allow the external rotation to open your shoulders. In the actual practice, this is a long hold, so breathe and let the posture work. To release, Move forward towards the wall and raise your head. Now you try it. Find your starting position. All fours, hands slightly higher than your shoulders and shoulder width apart. Standing, hands slightly higher than your shoulders and hands shoulder width apart. Standing with forearms on the wall, shoulder width apart. Take your elbows slightly higher than your shoulders. Get ready. Let your chest and sternum descend down towards your mat. Let your neck relax. Push your hands or forearms into the wall. Rotate your shoulders externally. Just your shoulders, not your arms, not your hands. Keep letting your chest and sternum descend towards your mat. Close your eyes. Breathe through your nose. Keep pushing your hands or forearms into the wall. Rotate your shoulders externally. Let your chest and sternum descend down towards your mat. Let your neck relax. Rotate your shoulders externally. Open up, open up. Now look towards the wall and move towards the wall. Good work. Take a seat and watch the next sequence. You need 1 or 2 blocks for the next sequence, or you could use the wall. Come to all fours. In this starting position, you will keep your knees aligned below your hips. Set your blocks lengthwise with only 2 to 3 inches between them. You want to keep your elbows as close together as you can for this exercise. Place your elbows on the end of the block nearest you. Your elbows on the inside of the blocks. Come into prayer hands. Take your head between your arms. Let your chest and sternum descend towards your mat. Keep your knees aligned under your hips. Bring your prayer hands as close to your upper back as you can. Push your elbows forward. Keep letting your chest and sternum descend. To release, bring your head up through your arms and then take your forearms down onto your blocks. You could also use a single block. You can also use the wall as your starting position. Walk to the wall. Place your elbows on the wall with 3 inches or less between them, about the same height as your shoulders. Take your head between your arms. Come into prayer hands. Let your chest and sternum descend. Walk your feet back and keep letting your chest and sternum descend. To release, walk your feet forward and bring your head back up between your arms. Now you try block shoulder. Choose your starting position, all fours with 1 or 2 blocks, or on the wall. Set your elbows. Keep your elbows 2 to 3 inches apart. Bring your head down between your arms. Take prayer hands. Let your chest and sternum descend. If you are on all fours, make sure your knees are aligned below your hips. If you are standing, walk your feet back 3 to 6 inches. Bring your prayer hands as close to your upper back as you can. Push your elbows forward, away from you. Keep letting your chest and sternum descend. To release, move towards your block or the wall and bring your head up between your arms. Take a comfortable seat. Now you're ready to engage in the entire shoulder mobility series. There's a video version of the entire series, and there's an audio version of the entire series. Once you are familiar with this sequence, I would suggest the audio version for you to practice with. Remember, you can always contact me with any questions you have. If you are encountering any difficulties with any of the postures, I would be more than happy to look into modifying a posture. Shoulder mobility is for everyone. All the best from me, Mark Jansen. Namaste.